All right, welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday, middle of the week. My thought for you this week is on this concept of how much you have to give time to something in order to feel its effect, right? So in yoga, we have this sort of saying in some of the stories or in some of the interpretations of the teachings. It says that if you are trying to find water, right? Is it more effective for you to dig 100 1-foot wells, wondering, is it here, is it here, is it here, is it here, is it here? Or to put that same amount of energy into one 100-foot well, right? So this is the metaphor, right? And what it's meant to remind us is that whatever kind of practice you choose, whatever kind of thing you are engaged in, and this is for a practice, whether it's yogically or it's anything else in your life that you want to see really grow and develop, is that you have to give time to it. Because we don't feel the effects of what we're doing always immediately. Sometimes we do, but the effects of our energy, the effects of our attention, the effects of our intentions, our desires, is that all grows exponentially when we allow it to keep going in the same place or in the same direction, right? So this is not just the kind of physical idea of I have a goal and I'm just going to keep moving towards it, but it's the idea of taking the energies inside of us and continuing to recycle them in the same direction until they really flow naturally the way that we are seeking them to, or the way that we're asking them to. So it takes time, right? And the time and the consistency is what practice is really about. It's not the thing that you are doing, but it is the time and the attention that you give to whatever it is that you're doing, right? So this is yoga, this is the rest of life. And just that reminder that with time, things evolve. With time, things grow. With time, things become deeper. It actually begins to pull us deeper. And this is what all of the teachings say, is that you start out doing whatever you're doing and thinking that it's you generating, right? It's you moving the exercise along or doing the breathing technique or the meditation or whatever it is. And at some point, it starts to become this synergy where it's no longer you doing it, but it's you being pulled, right? It's you being carried. It's you being moved. And that's what we have the capacity to do when we keep our attention in one place, right? So that's the practice, right? Is how skillful are you at keeping your attention moving in one direction? Not in a strict, it's always got to look the same way, but in the same direction, right? How much can you hold your attention in one place on one thing so that you go deep with it? You find the deep parts of you through it, right? That's what it means to really practice. So comfortable seat wherever you are. And I think that's what it means to really be present, right? Is that you allow yourself to go deep with whatever is immediate in your environment, whatever is immediate inside of you, you let yourself go deep with it. So with the eyes closed, begin to feel your breath, not just think your breath, but feel your breath. And starting by doing a little internal counting of the breath. So as you inhale to the count of 4, or even just keep counting until you get to the top of your inhale. So you don't have to stop at 4, but count all the way to the top until you feel that there's no more inhale happening. Then exhale, count again until you feel like the entire exhale is out. So you give this kind of measured awareness to your breathing. So you can certainly start with the number 4, breathe to the number 4. And then exhale again to the count of 4. Or simply breathe, counting the length of your inhale until you get to the top. And exhale, counting the length of your exhale until you get to the end of the out breath. And there's no need for trying to determine whether the number of your breath or the length of your breath is a good one or a bad one. Is you're just feeling, what does it feel like to inhale to my full capacity and to exhale to my full capacity? Keep your attention on that. And whatever else arises through that, let it arise. but don't get distracted. Stay with. I'm breathing, inhaling to my full capacity, exhaling to my full capacity. Whatever that happens to be in this moment. And then if you'd like, start to bring the exhale even a little bit longer. So if you're counting your breath and you're using the number 4, start to lengthen your exhale until it maybe can be as long as the count of 8. And if you're just counting your breath as it's naturally coming and you're inhaling and finding yourself inhaling to 6 or 7 or whatever it is, try to lengthen your exhales to be twice that. So if you're breathing into 6, you're exhaling 12. If you're inhaling 7, you're exhaling 14. Don't worry if you can't quite get there. But keep the measured count inside and the awareness of here's my capacity, inhaling, here's my capacity, exhaling. Just another couple of breaths like that. Good. And the next exhale, as it ends, release the counting. Bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. We'll open sound of Om. Take a nice deep inhale. And let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. You can release your hands, please. Stretch the arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers. Press the heels of the hands up towards the skies. Pull long. Good. And then as you exhale, bring the arms forward, straight out from the chest, round into your back body. So press back through your middle ribs. Good. And then inhale, come all the way back up, lengthening, stretching the arms up alongside the ears. And then exhale, round again, pressing back through the ribs, taking the hands straight out from the chest, push. And then one more time, inhaling, lifting, lengthening as much as you can. And exhaling, rounding into the back, press back through the rib cage. Good. And then come all the way back up, releasing the hands out and down. Come forward onto hands and knees. Good. And circle your hips just for a moment to move the pelvis. And moving the shoulders as well. Good. And then move yourself the other direction. You're just paying attention to where your attention wanders to. Where do you go when you go away? Good. Come back to stillness, please. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Good. Separate your feet a little wider in your down dog, maybe even as wide as your mat. Yep. Good. And then maybe even widen your hands a little bit, but with the feet a little bit wider, really get into that feeling of I can draw my hips up and back. Good. Nice. One more breath. Come up on your fingertips in your down dog. So as you lift up onto your fingertips, again, pressing through the tops of the thighs, pull back. Nice. And then start to walk your hands back towards your feet, please, until you are coming to a standing forward fold towards the back of your mat. Feet stay as wide as your mat. Good. Take your right hand towards your left ankle. Again, if it doesn't reach the ankle comfortably, you can keep it flat straight in front of you. Left arm to the sky or hand to your lower back. Good. Keep the right inner thigh pulling wide. Nice. Keep the throat drawing back. Excellent. And then release and switch, please. Taking the left hand to your outer right ankle or shin, right arm to the sky, or hand to the lower back. So again, if you feel that it's just a lot of pull through the arm or through the neck to have the arm lifted, then keep the hand at your lower spine, elbow bent. Good. Draw the throat back. Left inner thigh pushes a little wider. There you go, Joanne. Nice. Good. Release that hand down to the floor, please. Both hands in front of you. Bend your knees. Drop your thighs parallel to the floor so your butt moves back in space. Then walk your fingertips forward. Good. So you have your arms extended again, almost like you're in a down dog, but you're on fingertips. Good. Butt is dropped low. And then cat-cow your spine in that sort of pseudo squat. Good. So you're pressing into your heels here. Don't let your weight fall all towards the balls of your feet. Keep your butt moving backwards. Good. So you're not just lifting your butt and lowering with this action, right? As you're actually getting the tilt on your pelvis. Good. Nice, you guys. And then come to stillness, please. Rounding the back, pause. Beautiful. And then go ahead, start to straighten the legs, take your hips high to the sky, and then walk your hands forward again, back to a downward facing dog. Good. Take your feet just a little bit closer if you'd like so that they're hips width again. And then take your shoulders forward, armpits forward over the wrist for plank pose, upward push up. Good. Chest up, throat up. Nice. Take the right knee down to the floor underneath your right hip. Float that left leg up parallel to the floor. Take the right arm forward to straight as well, so you're balancing. Good. Lifting through the armpit. Bend your left knee, kick your heel in towards your butt. Reach back for the foot or the ankle if you'd like, or keep the hand behind your head if reaching for the foot doesn't feel like it's a great option. Good. Kick your thigh a little higher. Lift your chest a little higher. Breathe your full capacity here. I know you're like, but I'm balancing. Breathe your whole capacity. Good. And then slowly release, extending the leg, extending the arm. Breathe your whole capacity there. Full breath. And then exhale, release back to hands and knees, please. Nice. Do a little circling of your hips. Good. So the point, right, is to not let yourself get distracted by the movement in yoga, is that you're able to keep your attention on what the primary purpose is, right? And that is the awareness of the breath, or the movement of the breath, of the prana. Move your hips the other direction. So it's that little type of reminder that whatever position you find yourself in, is remind yourself over and over again to breathe to your full capacity. Because it's a shift for the mind completely to move into the direction of being aware of your breath, being aware of yourself, as opposed to being distracted by some sensation or where you think you're going next. Come back to stillness, please. Good. Step your feet back to plank pose again. So armpits over the wrist, step the feet back. Good. Lift the hips nice and high, pulling the rib cage up, pressing back downward facing dog. Stay up on the tippy toes of your feet. So squeeze your hands and your feet towards each other. Good. Bring your ears in line with your upper arms so that you have a slight lift to the back of your throat. Good. And then draw your low rib cage in. So it's like you're trying to actually almost round into your back ribs, but you're pulling your thighs back. So you're still squeezing everything up, 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 up. Awesome. And then slide forward back to plank pose, bringing the armpits forward over the wrist. Don't drop your ribs though. So lift your collarbones up, squeeze the hands and the feet towards each other, pull that low rib cage up away from the floor, inner thighs up away from the floor, and then push through the top of your head and through your heels. Good. And then drop the left knee to the floor underneath your left hip. Good. Take your right leg up parallel to the floor. So float that leg up. Take the left arm forward. So the opposite arm is the leg. Good. Breathe your whole capacity. Good. And then bend the knee. Please kick your heel in, reach back for the foot or the ankle if you'd like, or again, you can bring that hand behind your head if reaching for the foot is not a realistic option. Good. Try and keep that left hip from popping out to the side. So try and draw it in towards the midline. So you're going to have to put more weight on that right hand. There you go. Good. Nice, you guys. Breathe your whole capacity, full breath. And then extend all the way back out, arm and leg. Full breath, full rib cage. Good. And then release back to hands and knees, please. Nice job. Downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. Excellent. Step or jump your feet to the top of your mat. So however you'd like to get there, get to the top of your mat. Take both legs to straight. Good. Feet underneath the hips. There should be a little space between them, about 1 or 2 fist width, we say. So bend your knees, take your hands to your calf muscles, so the back of your lower legs, back of your shins. Good. And as you hug in there, keep your head dropped a little bit more. Pull your ribs up away from your thighs. Good. And as your shins are moving forward, press down into your heels. And now start to take your hips up towards the ceiling to straighten your legs, but keep that feeling of falling forward towards the tips of your toes. And then press into your heels just to create balance. Hips go nice and high. Draw those calf muscles forward and up. Good. Nice, you guys. And then relax the hands down to the floor, please. Right hand to outer left ankle, left arm to the sky, or again to your lower back. Widening your inner knees, widening your inner thighs. Keep your weight forward towards the balls of your feet. Good. Nice, Diane. And then release and switch, please. Left hand reaches for outer right ankle. Right arm comes to the sky again, staying just as aware, keeping the inner thighs wide, inner knees wide. Good. Release that hand down to the floor, please. Nice job. Bend both knees. Drop your seat for chair pose. Again, finding the weight in your heels. Move your hips back in space. And then take the arms up alongside your ears. Good. So if your knees are forward of your ankles, try and redirect some of that energy back. So your butt has to work a little harder, but it means your knees have to work less. Good. Lift your low belly up off of your thighs. Excellent. Good. Draw that low rib cage in. That's it. Nice, Joanne. And then come all the way up to stand, please. Nice, Mark. Good. Hold the right wrist with your left hand, please. And then lean to your left. Good. Side body stretch. So left hand holds right wrist, lean to your left. Good. Come back up to center, please. Switch your hands, reach the other direction, leaning to the right. Good. Pressing equally into both feet. So again, as you lean to the right, press down through that left foot, left hip, left thigh. Good. And then come all the way back up to center, please. Release the hands. Bring your right knee up in towards your chest. As the right knee comes up, the top of your left thigh pushes up and back. Good. Left hand reaches for outer right knee, so you're crossing the body. Good. Press that thigh, press the knee against the hand, and take the top of your left thigh up and back. So push that butt back. Good. And then twisting the belly towards the right, take that right arm straight back behind you, or again, you can keep the hand at the lower back, but you're using that lifted knee as an anchor for the twist. So twist. Top of your left thigh goes back, butt goes back. Nice. One more breath. Good. And then come back to center. Inhale the arms up. Keep that knee lifted. One more breath. Pull up from your belly. Good. And then release that foot down to the floor, please. Nice job. Good. Set up for the second side. So as you're ready, left knee comes up in towards your chest. Good. So the tendency when we lift one foot is that we lean backwards with our shoulders. So bring your butt backwards and let your shoulders come slightly forward so your ribs can soften. And then come into the twist, right hand to outer left knee. So you're pushing that knee wide, thigh wide. Left hand reaches back behind you or hand to your lower back. Good. So again, continue to breathe your full capacity here, right? Holding your breath and balancing does not make it easier. So feel the breath everywhere that you can. Good. Middle ribs, lower back. Beautiful. One more breath. Press that thigh wide. Good. And then come back to center, arms straight up. Hug that knee in towards your chest. One more breath. Squeeze in from your belly. Good. Release that foot down to the floor, please. Nice job. Exhale the hands down to the floor. Take a forward fold. Uttanasana. Good. Step your right leg back behind you. Nice long lunge. Inhale the arms up to the sky. High lunge. Yep. Arms all the way up. Good. Nice, you guys. And then reach that right hand to your outer left knee. So again, you're reaching forward. Good. Take that left arm back behind you, twisting to your left. So turning the belly towards the front thigh. Good. Pressing your inner thigh wide. So if that knee is starting to angle in as you twist, push it wide so it stays centered over the ankle, points at the second or third toe. Good. Use that anchor, then kick your back thigh up higher. Nice. Now go ahead and lean that right forearm onto your front thigh. Yep, so you come forward a little bit more. Take the left arm over your ear, so you're reaching on the diagonal now. Good. Keep twisting the ribs open. So draw your belly back away from your thigh. Press that left inner thigh wide. Right thigh kicks higher behind you. Good. Mark, really stack the shoulders as much as you can. So turn. There you go. Excellent, you guys. And then unwind everything, arms to the sky, high lunge. I know. Excellent. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good job, you guys. Step that right foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight, Parsvottanasana. Use blocks if you'd like. Good. And then come up on your front heel for a moment. So you're lifting the toes of the front foot. Good. And I want you to really feel again like you are drawing energy through the legs. So all the way up into the pelvis. And then a relaxing through the upper spine. So there's a release through the upper back because the legs are engaging more. Good. All right, full body awareness. As you actually let yourself feel the effects of what it is that you do, or are you so caught up in the doing that you forget that part? Release that foot back to the floor, please. Again, feeling all 5 toes. Nice. And then walk your hands slightly back. You can keep blocks there if you'd like under your hands, but walk your hands slightly back towards that front heel or behind that front heel. So your hands are still framing the foot. You're just walking your hands backwards. Good. And then look slightly forward, lean onto that left foot and take your right leg up to standing split, but keep your hands back behind your heel. So don't walk the hands forward. Yep. Good. Nice. You really have to find the lift through that right leg on its own. Scoop the low belly, lift your hips even higher. Flex the foot. Nice. One more breath. Good. And then go ahead and release that foot back down to the floor, please. Walk the hands forward. Step yourself back, downward facing dog. Nice. Vinyasa if you'd like, child's pose if you prefer. If you're doing the vinyasa, you're sliding forward to plank, lowering down all the way to your belly, rising up into cobra. Good. And then finding your way back to downward facing dog. And if you're in child's pose, you're going to meet us back in down dog. Nice. Bend your knees for a moment. As your knees bend, it's like you're tucking your tail towards your heels just a little bit. So you're making that space between the top of your pelvis and the tops of your thighs. So bend your knees, drop your hips low. Good. Then pull your hips back a little bit more in space and then start to straighten the legs again, but notice the point where you start to fall into that arch in your lower back. Good. And maybe keep the knees slightly bent so that you can keep that space where your hip points are lifting up off of your thighs. Good. And soften your heels wherever that happens to be, even if your knees are bent. Awesome. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Good. Take both arms to the sky, high lunge. So Joanne, switch your feet for me, please. Right foot forward. There you go. Excellent. Take your left hand to your outer right knee. Good. Right arm reaches back behind you. So keep your shoulders as vertical as you can first. So you're straight up and down with your shoulders. It's just the hand on the outside of the knee. Good. And you're widening that knee, kicking your back thigh a little higher, letting yourself really find the twist. Nice. And then start to let yourself come forward more. Bring the left forearm onto the thigh and take the right arm over the ear, reaching on the diagonal. Good. Keep that back thigh lifting up. As soon as you drop the attention on the back leg, it's going to be harder to balance. Good. Squeeze the feet towards each other. Navel draws up away from the thigh. Stack that right shoulder. Nice. Joanne, just push that left hip wider to the left. To the back hip. Goes away from the front knee. Yep. There you go. Good. Unwind everything. Arms to the sky. High lunge. Awesome. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Good job. Step that left foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight. Parsvottanasana. Use blocks underneath the hands. Make sure your feet are as wide as your hips, right and left. Good. And then come up on the front heel for a moment. So you're lifting the toes up off of the floor. And again, finding this sensation of drawing the thighs up into the pelvis and then releasing through the upper back. Good. And breathing your full capacity, right? Every time you catch yourself after a moment, say, have I taken a full breath recently? Breathe your full capacity. And that's the thing, is that's all that we're ever asked to do. Like, that's what a yoga practice is breathing your full capacity regardless of circumstances. And how do we know that we're doing this? We have to have attention on it. And the more we place our attention there, our awareness of what it means to breathe to your capacity becomes deeper and deeper and deeper. Release the foot to the floor, feeling all 5 toes. Good. And then walk your hands slightly back behind the heel. Again, you can keep blocks underneath the hands if you need. Just walk the hands back. Look slightly forward. So again, there's a lift to your chest, to your shoulders. And then lean onto that right foot. Swing your left leg up into standing split. Flex the foot, toes pointed down. Good, Diane. Really nice. Good. Widen that inner thigh just a little bit so you're not letting your left leg swing towards the middle of your body. It goes slightly wide. Nice, Mark. Good. A little too far, Joanne. There you go. Perfect. Excellent, you guys. And then slowly release, stepping the left foot back behind you. Good. Walk the hands forward, please. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Nice, you guys. And then drop to the knees, please. Take a child's pose. Good. You can bend the elbows here if you'd like, letting the elbows go wide, or you can have the arms stretched out in front of you. Yeah. Breathe your full capacity. Right? And so when we start, we might think like, okay, as a pranayama practice, breathe my whole capacity means just actually use my lungs. Right? That's a great concept starting number 1, actually use your lungs. But in order to do that, it means we also have to clarify so much of what's going on inside of our body physically, but also what's going on inside of us emotionally. Is that, does it hurt to take a full breath? Right? Does it push up against an emotion to take a full breath? Right? So breathing to our full capacity then starts to encompass this whole wider experience of what we are. We call this kind of the koshas, right? They're said to be the layers, the sheaths of the energetic self. So we might start physically saying, can I breathe to the full capacity of my lungs? But then that concept starts to be, can I actually feel the full extent of my whole experience, moment to moment? Can I feel my emotions? Can I feel my thoughts? Can I feel what is the greater wisdom of my life? And can I feel where there are these little inklings of what we call bliss? Breathe your full capacity. Good. Walk yourself back up, please. Come back to hands and knees. Press back, downward facing dog. Good. Take your right leg up and back behind you, down dog split. Bend the knee, kick your heel in towards your butt. Stack the right hip on top of the left. So opening inner thigh. Good. Lifting that inner knee even a little bit higher, right? So we think that like, okay, I'm going to open the inner thigh. Well, lift your inner knee a little higher. And then you're really going to say, well, there's my outer hip working. There's my outer thigh working. Good. Nice, you guys. And then scoop the belly, point the knee back down towards the floor. Pause for a moment, knee pointing down. Kick your heel higher again. So lift the thigh higher. Good. Don't let your ribs drop. Nice. Full capacity breath. Breathe into your upper back. Breathe into your lower belly. Awesome. And then stretch that leg back to straight down dog split. Come up on the ball of that left foot. So you're lifting up onto that ball of the foot, onto the toes, squeezing the heels towards each other. Good. All of that weight lifts up through your sit bones. Awesome. And then soften that left heel back down towards the floor. Step the right foot between the hands. Lunge. Good. Inhale the arms up to the sky. High lunge. Nice. And then bring the hands together at the heart center, please. Prayer twist. Left elbow comes to the outside of the right knee. So turning the belly same way you did before. And using that awareness of the elbow against the knee or the upper arm against the knee, press them against each other. So as you press down into the arm, the thigh pushes wide, the knee pushes wide. And that back leg gets stronger. The thigh lifts up. The shoulders draw towards the middle of your back. And it's a long throat. Pull through the crown of your head, pull back through your tail. Nice job. Keep the left elbow where it is. Take the right arm over your ear. Reach on that diagonal. Good. This is just to remind yourself, right, of where are you actually creating the twist from. Nice, Harriet. Excellent. Unwind your twist. Take both arms to the sky. High lunge. I know it's a lot of leg work. I'm aware. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good. Step that left foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight. Parsvottanasana. Yeah. So it used to be said a lot. I don't know, how much anyone says it anymore, but we say frequently, especially in asana, that your mind is ready to give up before your body actually has to. And so there's a lot of poses that we go through them in the way that makes us feel comfortable, that never pushes us up against our edges. And it means that we never really go deep with ourselves. So I'm not saying that you have to do anything that is ridiculous or that is painful in order to go deep. That's not what going deep means. But interesting to slow your poses down, right? Interesting to use progression to say, well, if I twist this way or I move this way, what is it like? So I can stay with my breath instead of being caught up in the acrobatics of asana. Good. Bend your right knee, please. Walk your fingertips straight ahead. Step up into standing split. Left thigh parallels the floor. Good. Again, toes are pointed down towards the floor. So bend your standing knee for a moment so you can reset your pelvis. Lift that right hip higher. Left hip is going to widen. Good. And then start to straighten your right leg again, keeping your pelvis as level as you can. So it's going to be a little bit of a fight with that outer right hip if it's tight. Good. Nice, you guys. One more breath, chest up. There it is. And then exhale, bow even deeper. Bend your elbows a little bit. Really good. Step yourself all the way back, please. Nice long lunge. Drop your back heel. Baby toe parallels back of your mat. Warrior two. Shoulders over the hips. Arms are wide. Good. Squeeze your feet towards each other. And then send your left rib cage back a little further to the left, like you're going to reach your left hand to the wall behind you. Good. So you're actually just moving your rib cage back. There you go. Now bring it into reverse warrior, bringing that left hand all the way down the back thigh. Right arm reaches up and back. Keep that right thigh dropping parallel to the floor, but squeeze your feet towards each other. Good. Now keep your right arm reaching back. Float your left arm out straight towards the wall again. So lift it up off of that thigh and extend it straight back like you're going to touch the wall behind you. Nice. And now navel to spine. Bring yourself all the way back up to arms wide, warrior two. Good. Right forearm onto front thigh, left arm over the ear, side angle just for a breath. There it is. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Spin your back heel up. Step back, downward facing dog. Nice. Breathe your whole capacity. Notice how often you give up on your breath. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push-up. Lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need. Rise up cobra on an inhale. So find the connection of the movement with your breath. Good. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And like I said to someone earlier today, exhale like you mean it. Not a wimpy exhale, right? If your exhale is supposed to be twice as long as your inhale, you got to exhale like you mean it. Left leg up and back behind you. Nice, Mark. Left leg up and back, down dog split. Good. Bend the knee, take your heel in towards your butt, stack the left hip on top of the right. And again, focusing on lifting through the inner knee. So you actually get that thigh to go higher. You actually get that outer hip muscle to work. Good. Nice, you guys. Keep your shoulders as square to the floor as you can. Good. And then point that knee down towards the floor. Please keep it lifted, but with the knee pointing down, lift that thigh just a little bit higher. Press up through your heel. Again, a level pelvis. So let that left hip turn down all the way. Good. Nice, you guys. Breathe into your back ribs. Good. Extend that leg all the way to straight. So you're in a full down dog split. Come up on the ball of your right foot. So lift up the heel and then squeeze your feet towards each other. Get your hips to go even higher, like it's pulling all the weight out of your hands. Good. And then soften that right heel towards the floor. Again, the knee can bend a little bit if it needs. Nice. And then step the left foot between the hands. Lunge. Good job. Inhale the arms to the sky, high lunge. Good. Keep your breath measured, right? This is how we move through a practice like this, is that we don't get hyper focused on, oh, my quads, oh, my this, oh, my that. Stay with your breath. Your legs can handle more than you think they can. Good. Take your hands together, heart center, prayer twist, right elbow to the outside of your left knee. And it's all about distribution, right? If all of your attention is always just on that front leg in standing poses, it's going to get very tired. Lift through your back thigh more. Draw the lowest part of your navel in. Good. Move the ribs back away from your thigh. Nice. Press that knee wide into the elbow into the knee. Nice job. You want to feel almost like there's a little bit of a lift to your tailbone. There you go. And then keep that right elbow where it is. Take the left arm over the ear, reaching on the diagonal. So again, maybe you actually open that left shoulder even more because now you're reaching. Really good. And then you're unwinding everything. Take the arms all the way up, high lunge. Nice, Joanne. Nice, Mark. Good, Harriet. Good, Diane. And then release the hands down to the floor. Beautiful work. Step your right foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight. Parsvottanasana. See, in my mind, for some reason, I'm imagining you guys doing a balance beam routine. A very wide balance beam, right? You have a whole mat's worth. Good. But for there not to be so much distraction, right? And maybe I'm thinking about that because, of course, I've been, watching all the gymnastics and whatever, but that sort of centered sort of focus of there's nowhere to look, right? There's no big complicated, thing to do. It's all really staying steady in one direction, steady in one place, steady in one kind of awareness, where the shapes don't matter as much as that awareness of your breath does. Good. Take one more full breath. Again, breathing full capacity. Then bend the left knee, walk your fingertips forward, step up into standing split. Right thigh comes parallel to the floor. Good. Toes pointing down. So again, bend your standing knee just a little bit so that you can level your pelvis. You got to actually lift a little higher on that left low belly. Good. And then once you've done that, start to straighten the left leg again without letting your hips twist open again. There you go. Nice. You actually feel how the right leg has to hold itself. You feel how the left leg as the supporting leg has to press into the floor. Good. One more breath, inhaling, lifting a little taller, wider through the chest. And then exhale, bend the elbows any amount. Let yourself drop into the forward fold a little deeper. Really good. Good. And then step yourself way back. Nice long lunge. Drop that right heel, baby toe parallels back of your mat. Cartwheel the arms up to warrior two. Good. Make sure that your feet are set well. That your front knee is pointing towards the second or third toe. Again, if it's already falling in, you have to adjust it. Otherwise, it's going to feel very difficult to stay in this position. Good. Reach that right arm, right rib cage back just a little bit further. Nice. And then slide that right hand all the way down the back thigh. Left arm reaches up and back, reverse warrior. Let your left thigh continue to drop forward as you lean back. And squeeze the feet. Good. Keep your left arm reaching over the ear. Take your right hand up off of your back thigh. Reach it straight to the back of your mat. So again, pulling long. Good. Making those oblique abdominals work a little bit more. Awesome. And then come all the way back up to arms, letter T, warrior two. Beautiful. Drop the left forearm onto the front thigh, right arm over the ear, side angle. Again, just for a breath, press that front knee a little wider towards the baby toe. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor. Nice. Spin your back heel up. Step back, downward facing dog. Awesome. Slide forward to plank pose. Upward push up, armpits over the wrist. Lower down slow, using your exhale there if you can. Rising up into cobra, inhaling. Good. And then again, exhaling back into downward facing dog like you mean it. Hips nice and high. Good. And then take the right leg up and back behind you, down dog split. And then bring that knee forward in wide pigeon pose. Knee goes towards your right wrist. And sliding the left leg back. Good. And then once you've set your pelvis, right, you have that front foot really awake, either pointed or flexed, then go ahead and walk yourself forward. Nice. You can use whatever you want underneath your forehead, underneath your elbows, blocks, blankets. Good, Diane. Just shift your weight a little bit more onto that left side of your sacrum, Diane, so you have, again, a little bit more balance on your pelvis. Perfect. Breathing your full capacity. It's such a simple direction, or it sounds like such a simple direction, but to do it in an ever deepening way is this is what we call practice. That's what we start to call something when we start to call something yoga, is when there is this deepening awareness that comes with it. And that takes time. Right? If you've been practicing for any length of time, you know that maybe the first time you ever did pigeon pose, it felt a certain way and you thought a certain thing about it. But the more you stay with it, the more you relate to it, the more it starts to have a meaning for you that was not just that initial passing by, passing through experience. Then things start to open up. So we dig that well with ourselves really deep through time, through repetition. But the repetition is so that we become increasingly aware. Nice, you guys. Take one more breath where you are. And then slowly walk yourself back up. And Diane, I'm going to have you come up to sit. So sit towards your right hip, please. Swing your left leg around in front of you. So the right knee is going to stay bent. Swing your left leg around so that you are sitting on your butt with your left leg extended straight in front of you. There you go. Right foot to the inside of your left thigh, Janu Shirshasana. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. Little twist, so you're turning your belly towards that left leg and then bow forward. Good. Again, turning through that right low belly, lifting the left low belly and rib cage a little wider. And again, breathing to your capacity. Start with just trying to use your lungs. But then see how doing that maybe helps to arise an awareness or to bring awareness to some of those deeper layers. But I can actually touch my emotional state. I can actually feel my thoughts, my thinking. I can become aware of what is often that quiet voice that is behind the thinking that says, I know all the answers, you just have to listen. A place that is knowing, not wondering. And even beyond that, that there is something that is more, where there's no trying, where there's no effort. Good. Take one more breath, again, twisting through the low part of the waist. Nice. And then bring yourself all the way back up to center, please. Good. So bend your left knee in towards your chest here. And you're going to reach for, so let's reach inside the foot. So take your elbow inside the knee. Yeah, so I said that wrong. So bring the elbow inside the knee, but reach for the baby toe edge of your foot. There you go. Good. And if you can balance on your sit bones here with that right knee bent, keep it bent. If you need to straighten the leg, straighten the right leg for balance. And then you're going to straighten that left leg out in front of you, straight in line with your hip. Good. So switch the legs there, Joanne. Keep your right knee bent. Take the left leg out in front of you. There you go. Good. And then take the right hand to your left foot or ankle as well, if you can. So both hands are reaching for that same leg. Good. Joanne, just let that right knee drop out to the side, just where it was. Yep, you got it. So lean forward towards the front edge of your sit bones. Again, you're lifting that thigh up as high as it will reasonably go while also sending your sit bones back. Full deep breath in, full capacity. Good. Exhale, drop your forehead towards your shin any amount. Good. And then slowly release, hug the right knee in towards your chest. Good. Step that right foot to the outside. So keep that right knee wide. Right knee is right where it is. Step that left foot to the outside of your right thigh. So cross it over. Step your foot to the outside of the thigh. So it's like you're coming into a seated twist. So right foot to the outside of your left thigh. There you go. Both butt cheeks on the floor. You got it. You might have to move that right foot a little bit. Right hand, right elbow reaches to the outside of your left knee. Left hand comes back behind you. There you go. So the right foot should be crossed over the left thigh. There you go. Sorry, left foot is over the right thigh. I think I said it wrong. You got it. And then slowly unwind, you guys. Come back to center. Beautiful. Bring both feet out in front of you. Cross the ankles. Roll forward onto hands and knees. Bring yourself back to plank pose. And then on an exhale, again, like you mean it, press back to downward facing dog. So lift from your ribs, take your thighs back, soften the heels, full exhale. Good. And then left leg comes up and back, down dog split. Good. Bring that knee forward and wide for pigeon on the other side. So the knee goes towards the left wrist. Good. Setting the pelvis again as level as you can. So turning that outer right hip a little bit more forward. Placing yourself well. And then as you're ready, walk yourself forward onto your forearms or blocks, whatever you want to use. You can have a blanket underneath you, underneath the head, or a block underneath the forehead. Good. So what we rarely give ourselves is the benefit of time. We think if something's going to work, it has to work immediately, or it has to feel the way that we want it to. We don't give it time to really go deep for us to really understand even what we're trying to do. Because even just to take a full breath, right? There's a lot of actual mechanical effort that goes into that your body goes into it. So even if that's just where you're starting is, can I increase my breath capacity? It's going to start to bring up an awareness of the body that you didn't have before. Same thing is true if we expand that awareness to say, I'm also feeling my emotional self being translated or my emotional self moving. Then whatever it is you think you are trying to do, the deeper you go with it is you will have a much greater understanding with time, with experience. Saying this is not the first time I've experienced this. And it's not transitory. We often say that the practice of yoga is coming home to yourself. Coming home means you turn all the lights on. And you occasionally look in the closets. Occasionally dust the shelves off, clean the floors. Right? But it's also the place, again, that you can navigate with your eyes closed because it is home. Been there before so many times. So like you're digging that 100-foot wells, go deep with yourself moment by moment. Your awareness goes deep. And take one more breath. And slowly start to walk yourself back up. If you're on your back, come up to sit. And then you're going to lean onto that left hip, swing the right leg around in front of you. Bring the bottom of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh for Janu Shirshasana. Good. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. Do a little twist of your belly to the right over that right thigh and then bow forward. Again, trying to get that feeling of really lifting your right low belly as you turn the left belly forward. Keeping your right foot awake, the foot on the extended leg. And then continue to breathe as completely as you can. And just noticing in this position, do you have the same breath capacity as when you were just sitting upright? Can you still breathe to the count of 4, inhale and exhale? Can you breathe in to the count of 4 and breathe out to the count of 8 in this position? If the answer is no, that's okay. You're not intended to have the same breath capacity in every position. But your awareness of where your capacity is you can easily start to become conscious of when you are shortening your breath. As you become conscious of that, it gives you the ability to then shift into a mode where as soon as you know that you're shortening your breath, okay, go back to going to breathe to your capacity. Dig that well a little deeper. Good. Turn the belly just one more time. Last breath. Nice, Harriet. And then slowly bring yourself all the way back up. Good. So again, if you can stay balanced with that left knee bent, keep it bent. Draw the right knee in towards your chest. Reach for the baby toe edge of the foot with your right hand. So elbow inside the knee. And then extend the legs straight out in front of you. Good. Sitting towards the front edge of your sit bone. So that will also increase the fantastic sensation that's happening at the back of your thigh. Good. And then if you can, bring both hands to reach for the ankle or underneath the calf or underneath the knee, wherever you have to hold. Nice, Mark. Perfect. Keep your chest as lifted as you can, leaning towards that front edge of your sit bones. Good. And then as you exhale, last breath, drop your forehead towards your shin. Good. And then slowly release, hugging that knee in towards the chest. Step it to the outside of your left thigh. So the foot comes to the outside of the thigh. So you're coming into half Lord of the Fishes. Left arm, left elbow or hand reaches for that right knee. Right hand comes back behind you, spinal twist. Stay towards the front edge of your sit bone. So you're still trying to stay towards that front edge of your pelvis so your spine has maximum length. And then again, breathe full capacity here. And the beauty of full capacity is not limited by, nor is it defined by any particular state, except what is your full capacity right this moment, full awareness of yourself. Good. Slowly release, unwind your twist. Nice job. Bring the bottoms of the feet together. Let your knees go wide. Good. You can always use a blanket underneath the seat here if you find that helpful for the pelvis. And then inhale the arms up to the sky as you're ready. Good. So flex your toes. So your feet are flexed. Press down through the baby toes. So again, activity in the legs. Press down through your groins. And then lean forward. Take your forward fold here with the arms extended alongside your ears. So reach forward, reach forward, reach forward. Press your butt back. Press your butt back. Press your butt back. Good. And then when you lean forward as much as you can. So again, one more breath. Lift your armpits forward. Then let your hands touch down to the floor and let yourself relax into the forward fold. Good. Nice, you guys. Letting the legs drop open, letting the lower back expand, feeling your breath going as wide as it can go. Right? The awareness staying consistent on the breath means that we often give more space for everything else to just move the way that it needs to move. We let the emotions move. We let the thoughts move. Whatever arises, arises. Good. Then walk yourself all the way back up. Nice job. And then opportunity to do an inversion of your choice here. So if you want to come onto your backs and do shoulder stand, that's perfect. Or a block underneath the seat with the legs up works too. If you want to come forward and do headstand, handstand, forearm stand, whatever you want to do. You can even just work headstand preparation if you'd like, coming on to hands and knees and bringing the forearms to the floor and coming into dolphin. So like a forearm dog. Good. If you think your best option is legs up the wall, you can do that. But some form of upside down, again, even if that is just a block underneath the sacrum and your legs up to the sky. Nice. Good, you guys. Attention on your breath, because you know what I'm going to say, right? Breathe to your full capacity here. To the full extent of your breathing capability through your lungs, but also your awareness of yourself on all the layers of yourself. And to simply breathe means that you're not judging those things. You're not categorizing whatever you find there. You're just breathing to the full extent, awareness to the full capacity. Taking it all in. Good, you guys. If you're in shoulder stand and you want to take a plow pose, go ahead and let the toes come to the floor above the top of the head. Nice, Harriet. I'm going to suggest that you switch your feet. So take the other foot towards the wall or towards the door as your support and try the other leg being your lift. There you go. Good. Just stay with it. As the pose changes, as the position changes from that first moment when you're in inversion, very different to when you're, 45 seconds in, a minute and a half in. Stay with it because you have a relationship with this pose. Why? Because it's happening through your body. So it's the relationship with your body that's being cultivated. It's the relationship with your mind that's being cultivated. But instead of trying to decide this is what the relationship should be, is try just breathing in what's there. Start with that. Full capacity. As I guarantee that as far as you usually go in your self-awareness is pretty shallow. You hit that first edge where you think that there's problems and you're like, oh, that's enough. You don't let yourself go deeper. If you're in plow pose, take the legs back up towards shoulder stand and give yourself a couple of breaths there. The self-awareness is not to simply find out what you think is wrong with you, but it's to breathe in the wholeness of you, all layers, with no judgment. So breathing your whole capacity, again, it's not just a mechanical action. It's an awareness building, attention keeping. Don't wander away. Don't wander away before you've really seen everything there is to see, felt everything there is to feel. Your last breath or two. And as you're ready, start to release your inversion if you are still upside down. So if you're in shoulder stand, drawing the knees in towards your chest. If you are in some other inversion, coming down gently, controlled. And then give yourself a moment either in child's pose, or if you're on your back, you can plant your feet and just let your spine find itself. Maybe sitting upright feels more natural if you are in headstand or handstand. Good. And then as you're ready, start to find your way onto your back if you are not there already. Good. Taking the right ankle on top of the left thigh, bring your left shin parallel to the floor. So lift your left foot up off the floor and reach through to hold the left thigh if you'd like. Again, you can always make the choice to not hold the thigh and just let the legs hold themselves. Keep the shoulders more relaxed. It's up to you. Good. So it is one of the classic stories of the gods, story of Lakshmi, where there's this whole catastrophe, right, where the world is dying, of course, and so everybody's scrambling to try to, they have to create or find, they have to find the nectar of immortality. The only way to do it is for all of the gods and all of the demons, so all of the good guys and the bad guys all have to get together, and they have to bring the best and worst of everything they can find and toss it into this ocean. And then they have to churn the ocean. They have to turn it and turn it and turn it and turn it and turn it. And they both have to do it. So you have demons on one side, you have, the gods on the other side, and they're both putting their efforts into churning this ocean. So it's the ocean of consciousness. We call it the ocean of milk also, but the ocean of consciousness. Twisting and twisting and twisting and turning and turning and turning. And the first thing that starts to flow out of this whirlpool, right, that they're creating is what they call the poisons. One more deep breath here. And then go ahead and switch your legs. Take the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Reaching through to hold the right thigh here if you'd like, shin parallel to the floor. Or again, you can let the legs hold themselves and just let the arms, shoulders relax. Good. And so, of course, this poison is going everywhere and everyone's sort of freaking out because they're like, it's going to destroy everything. So Shiva drinks the poison, right? Transforms it, transmutes it. And so everyone is, again, saved. But after that wave of poison has arisen, moved through, is what arises next are all of the incredible blessings, right? So the wish-fulfilling cow and, magical entities and beings, and then eventually Lakshmi, right? What represents our greatest inner sense of wholeness and abundance and beauty in the experience that we are having, right? Not beauty outside of what's going on, beauty with exactly what's happening. So if that first little glimpse of poison sends you running, you don't stay long enough to see what's underneath it, that's what we're left with, right? We're left with that I'm always running from myself. And the poison is all I know. I never get to that point where I also see that I'm Lakshmi, where I also see that I have this great capacity to be more, do more, feel more. So breath awareness, become aware of yourself, even if you have no idea what's going to arise into that awareness. Be prepared for the poison, but don't get scared. There's more, but you have to stay with it. Good. Unwind the legs. Please squeeze your knees in towards your chest. Widen the knees just a little bit so they're angled towards your armpits like you're doing a child's pose upside down. So you're hugging the shins in and then pressing the low back down to the floor. So keep your hands to the front of your shins so you have a little something to push against. Good. Nice. One more breath, really focusing on pressing the low back down to the floor from your low belly. Nice. And then draw the knees back in towards your chest, please. Good. Hold behind the thighs, start to roll forward and back on your spine, rolling on the spine. Good, let yourself come all the way up to where you can balance on your sit bones. So find yourself a little balancing boat pose. So feet up off the floor, chest lifted. Nice. And then holding the thighs, again, bend the knees, roll forward and back on the spine a couple of times. Good, and then find where you can balance on your sit bones again, finding boat pose. Again, you can straighten the legs if you'd like. You can stretch the arms out if you'd like. Find your boat pose, chest up, shoulders back. Good, and then bend the knees again. One more time, roll forward and back on the spine. Good, balance yourself in boat pose one last time, up on the sit bones. Nice, chest up. So if the back is rounding, really pull up. Try to get towards that front edge of your sit bones. Draw those low ribs in. Suck those thighs up and into your pelvis. Really nice. Good. And then bend the knees, please, and roll yourself back onto the floor. Good. And then plant the feet, please. Pause for a moment with the knees bent. Nice job. Good. Stretch your arms out wide, letter T. Separate your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees drop to the right, both knees. Good. You can take the right ankle on top of the left thigh here if you'd like, or just keep the feet separated, knees dropping to the right. And again, if this position does not work for you for whatever reason, you can always just bring that left knee on top of the right knee so the knees are stacked. Good. Take one more full breath, reaching through that left side rib cage. And then release, please. Plant the feet as wide as your mat. Drop the knees open to the left. Good. And again, option is to place the left ankle on top of the right thigh. You can also, again, if this twist is not serving today, just bring the right knee on top of the left so that the knees are stacked. Full breath capacity. Come back to center, please. Nice. Draw the knees up and towards your chest, please. Good. One more twist. So you can either cross the right thigh on top of the left here and wrap the legs, or you can keep the right knee in towards your chest and extend the left leg down to the floor, your choice. So if you're wrapping the knees or wrapping the legs, you're scooting your butt over to the right, dropping your knees to the left. And if you have one knee hugged in, left leg extended, you're bringing that knee across your body. Spinal twist. Again, breathing full capacity. So still finding how big can you get into that back rib cage? How big can you get into the lower back, into your outer hips? Good. Slowly unwind, come back to center. Take your twist on the other side. So again, either crossing the left thigh on top of the right or hugging the left knee in towards your chest. Scoot your hips over to the left, drop the knees to the right. Or bring the left knee across the body over to the right. Full awareness of yourself. Stay with it. Don't go away wherever you go away to. And slowly come back to center, please. Good. Unwinding the legs, hug the knees in towards your chest, forehead up to meet your knees, squeeze. Exhaling completely like you mean it. Good. And then stretch the legs straight out in front of you, please. Take your arms up alongside your ears. Do a full body stretch, full stretch. Squeezing every muscle you can get a sense of. Good. And then release every muscle you have a sense of. Letting the feet drop open, arms alongside you, palms come to face up. Again, come back to or stay with the sensation that you are going deep with yourself, with your breath, breath awareness. If you're digging a 100-foot well, you don't know what you're going to find, but it'll be different 5 feet in, 10 feet in, 30 feet in. So whatever arises, stay with it. Steady breath. Very gently bring the awareness back to the breath, letting the body begin to stretch and move in whatever ways serve it well. And then as you're ready, drawing the knees in towards your chest, roll to the right side. Taking a moment before you begin to push the floor away, come back to an upright seated position. Hands coming to rest at the heart center, palm to palm. And again, for just a breath, count. Mental count your full capacity inhale. And your full capacity exhale. And make this something that you do regularly, this inner checking in of how deeply am I really breathing? How present am I really? Because I guarantee that your tendency, your habit is to go just a little bit in, surface level almost, very shallow. Let yourself go deep. Not that your breath is shallow, but that our awareness is we stop. We stop before we really get deep into ourselves. So the breath is that universal tool that allows us to go deep, dig that 100-foot well with yourself, go deep this moment. And whatever arises, arises. Don't get scared, don't get distracted. And time is what allows you to build that deepness with yourself. And coming back again and again is what allows you to build that deepness with yourself. Don't miss that opportunity. Go deep right now. Full breath. And we'll close with the sound of Om. Inhale. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night, great rest of your week until I see you again. Enjoy practicing with just your breath. Don't make it complicated.
Thanks, Veronica.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Have a good night, everyone.
You're welcome.